What's up, guys? Hey, it's Mikey. Just got done with work, but I wanted to get on here and provide you guys some content, right? I kind of want to go over what I think a lot of people are feeling. Maybe some frustration, maybe mental, their mental capability is starting to drain, right? They're just like frustrated of how the market's trading. And, and I actually want to cover things that, in a sense that remember when we play these setups, right? When we play 5 minute flags, when we play pivot plays, or things that reclaim VWAP, um, I want you guys to actually take a step back, right? Breathe, number one, and actually look at the bigger picture, right? Just because, here we'll go on SHPH, right? Got caught up out of nowhere, and this play actually ended up breaking out, but right here, right? We're like, hey, you know, this is a nice 5 minute flag right here. Look at the VPA. We're trading above this pivot right here. Um, but, why is this thing up? All right, let me look at the daily. The daily doesn't even look good at all. All right, there's nothing bullish about this thing whatsoever. Okay, um, this might look good right here. This might look good right here because it's a pivot hold. It's a 5 minute flag. We're looking for like the 4 break, which I was, you know, and then it doesn't work, right? And then there's just too many people getting frustrated, that it didn't work. Okay, but if you take a step back, and realize, hey, there isn't anything significant about the daily. You know, if you want, real quick, we can click through the 4 hour. I mean, this thing is just, I mean, look at it. There's nothing great about this, right? You can click through, any time frame, whatever you want to do. Okay, this is just one huge bear flag. Okay, I mean, just look at it. Look at the VPA. Look at this stuff, right? So what I'm trying to get at is that we're playing these setups intraday. Okay, so I want to try to teach you guys something, right? At any given day, let's look up. At any given day, we're gonna have these things that show up, and they're gonna go ahead and produce a daily candle, right? Now, as momentum trader and as day traders, we are trying to capitalize that on a smaller time frame and play these patterns, right? That we know, that have good edge, that we back tested, that we've seen work over and over and over again, right? And we also see them fail. Okay, you have to understand what it's like to see these things fail, but you have to actually be in the trade to fail, right? And be red, right? And go through that emotional aspect and still come up on top of it, right? So we're getting frustrated, or I see a lot of people getting frustrated, and when I take the trade, I'm like, I lost. Nothing feels good about having a red trade, right? Especially if you trade with size, your losses go from 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20K, and it's just like, ugh, right? But if you take a step back and, take some accountability for actually what you're doing instead of just getting frustrated and realize, like, hey, these things work, right? So AGFY was an amazing play, okay? Um, if you guys don't know something about a daily inside bar play, right? It's like this huge wide range bar, and then you're going to get a daily inside bar where the bar actually, then on the following day, closes within this daily bar, okay? The previous one, okay? Now, when I've seen these things work, okay, they get ignited when they break this 108 right here, okay? Or sorry, 103, okay? The real break is going to be that 115 daily break, okay? Now, we've seen some of these in the past. They try to break this, 103 first, and then they break above it, and then they just dump, okay? The real break is going to be breaking out of the daily inside bar play on the daily's high, the previous high, which is the 115 break, okay? Once something like that breaks, all right, look at the volume on this. Look at the daily inside bar. Daily inside bar plays, we want them to be smaller, right? Lighter volume, lighter pullback, because in the sense it's kind of like this, hey, let's squeeze this thing out one more time, okay? This it pulled back, right? It pulled back on lighter volume, okay? It's like, looking at a flag and seeing, hey, I want a nice 5-minute pullback, lighter volume, to know that it's not getting stuffed, there's not heavy selling pressure. And now let's go ahead and try to break the key levels, right? The first daily candle to make a new high is 103. All right. Now from there, we're looking for 115, okay? This right here, in my opinion, should have been top watch on Friday, you know, looking in for key levels to hold, some pullbacks. The first 5-minute 8 on this before this actually got dragged up got soaked. All right, but more importantly, once this thing broke above and it pulled back and it really held these 115s, right? Remember, when I say they break them, we're looking for them to get sucked up, right? So you see these things break on the one, get sucked up. You see it again, break, it gets sucked, right? It's slurp, whatever. Um, it's regaining that price level. All right. This should become great support in this type of stock, in this type of ticker, in this setup when it actually does what it's supposed to do. It breaks, pulls back, it's stair stepping down, buyer step up. We get this other 5-minute setup right here where I kind of saw this. This was actually lighter volume when it first pulled back the very first time, and then we kind of get this descending volume, right? And now we're looking for increasing volume, which we get right here. All right, guys, this stock also had to regain compliance with NASDAQ. If you guys don't know about that, look that up. I'm pretty sure they have to hold 10 days over $1. So there was more behind this than just the daily inside bar play. Okay, so there's more bullish indicators in this than just playing a pattern or looking for a setup. Okay, the reason why I showed SHPH is because it's like, oh, it's frustrating, right? It's frustrating when this fails. But one, look already how high it is. Okay. Two, look at the daily setup. It's pretty much trash. Okay. Peggy, right? We're looking at Peggy, right? Out of nowhere, Peggy just reclaims VWAP. Okay. Looks like it's starting to set up, right? A 5-minute. The VEPA looks there. Okay. This is where I see people get frustrated. Is that they're taking this right here, right? And they're like, whoa, dude, it's not going to pop up, have the notification off. Okay, so basically just bear with me. They're seeing this set up right here. Okay. This right here. Here we go. Okay. They're seeing this set up. They're like, look, great volume. We got decreasing volume. It's at volume weighted average price, VWAP, the purple line on my chart. It's tapping the 5 and an 8, right? I talk about that. We all have seen these things work, right? But let's zoom out, right? Look at this daily, okay? This is where this is where it was when to capitalize on that, right? We got this stuff, it holds up, this thing's starting to break new highs. Let's test this high, let's see this daily break, This thing gaps up now and puts in a nice hangman, or shooting star almost, I know the body's not as closed, but it has this big upper wick, meaning this thing sold off and closed, so it didn't close strong, all right? This thing is, it's got a doji on the day, right? It on the daily, it tried to break new highs and got stuffed, right? And then closed in, right? So there's nothing bullish about it anymore, all right? I think where a lot of people's frustration is coming into is that, there's so much opportunity out there, right? But there's just too much of bouncing around and not focusing in on the bigger picture plays, on things that actually have this bullish push to it or could potentially have the bullish push to it because all the eggs in the baskets are starting to add up, right? The dailies are looking good. There's actually volume on the play. This stock may have a good catalyst. It might have a day two continuation. The hourly, the 4 hours, probably it's prime, right? It's at its prime or it's at its apex point to actually put in a big leg. So if buyers do step in, it's game time, right? So I think where I see a lot of frustration in people is that when we have these bullish days, right? People are not hitting the gas like they should, right? So we get a stock, okay? I'll pull up AGFY, okay? So there's this thing where this thing goes from 98 cents or 96, 95 cents all the way to $1.50. Okay. There's plenty of different type of ways to get in here, right? Off the one, nice 1 minute flag right here. I personally slammed this thing at 97 cents looking for the daily inside bar play to actually start ignite, right? Notice this right here on the daily that it was starting to have light volume. This thing pulled, but if you zoom out, right, this thing pulled back, but it never pretty much broke the consolidation that it had all pre-market, which was all right here, right? Okay, so you know that was first ads, right? And this thing just pretty much went straight over 128, broke that daily inside bar level that we want to see. Just had huge strength, right? I mean, guys, if you saw this tape, it was bullish momentum. There was huge bidders on here. Yes, there were big walls, but like there was huge bid support. That's what you want to see as a bull, right? As we're playing, the tape was strong. Okay, I mean, this thing, pretty much didn't get stuff. I think on the one, you had some sell off right here. People taking profits, buyers not stepping up. So the tape's going to start pulling back. If buyers are not stepping up, we're not going to see this push anymore, right? But the volume starts to just dry out. All right. You have a nice stuff right here. Stock holds up. You have another huge stuff right here. Stock still holds up, right? And then makes new highs. Okay. It did attempt to right here again. There was a nice 5 minute flag right here again, and also a nice 128. This is your pretty much the first high day. Pivot hold, consolidation, right? This is a nice higher low now that it didn't break this previous low, and it tried, right? We had this, if you see this right here, we had this pop, this nice stair step down. Volume tried to come in right after that, after a 5 minute flag. We had a nice 5 minute 3 bar, right? Like it's this very similar 5 minute 3 bar, similar to a daily inside bar play. You want to see igniting bar, low volume pullback. So very similar concept to that on the 5 minute for a 3 bar play. All right, great volume, but what happens is that this started to get heavy now. It got real heavy, real heavy. Buyers stopped putting in that pressure, and the ask started to get heavy, meaning that there was big stacks, right? No more buying, price comes down. All right, bids start to give out. It is what it is, right? But it did what it had to, and then ended up sending this overall bigger wedge right here, and then put in one more big leg. Oops, sorry. One more big leg to put in new highs for a power hour squeeze. All right, that was amazing. All right, and if you guys watch my other videos when I say look left, if you kind of see this 5 minutes start to increase right here, this is right here is giving it away, saying, hey, we're about to try to push. Okay, you're gonna get this creeping 5 minute stair step volume, right? And then it's gonna start coming to a certain level, and then you're gonna get a squeeze. All right. I can already tell what this did on the one. All right, this is where when I say squeeze, this thing's going to start putting in legs on the 1 minute. All right, and that's exactly what it did. If you look right here, when it was time to break this 142 level, this is an important key, right? It couldn't get over this for a while, and once it broke it, we get this huge volume on the one, and we get a micro pullback continuation, micro pullback, new high stuff. All right, people are going to take profits. Whoever played this lower, this is where the focus needs to be. Okay, so remember, as a trader, don't get frustrated that, I mean, we tried IMRA too, right? It eventually went nice power hour squeeze, more like an after hour close, or after hours close. Sorry, not a power hour squeeze, but so we're trying to play this, right? Let's zoom out real quick. Look at the daily. This stock gapped up so high, so we're trying to play these flags. They're failing. They're failing. All right, there's a 5 minute pullback right here. The VPA could look light. It's just failing. All right, don't get frustrated. Don't get frustrated that these are not working. Hey, Mike, you just stair step down. What do you mean? Like, mind blown. It's not working. I know it's not working. If you saw the level 2 in the tape, maybe it dried up, right? I mean, this thing dried up. I mean, the volume's gone. People are gonna who got in this are like, hey, you know what, man, it's time to bail. Like, I'm not gonna sit here anymore. Kadunk bump bump. Like that happens. It's just it's like these things where they get this active momentum for a little bit and then it just poof, where to go. Like, hello, where you at? You know, it happens, okay? Don't get frustrated, but look left. Look at this stock. It gapped up so much. It probably has the chances of these setups working are probably slim, and that's all right, you know? So if you lose on these plays and you lose on these extend to 5 minute flags and the dailies are look like garbage, just remind yourself like, hey, when it's time to hit the gas and actually make big money, we need to be doing that, right? We need to keep these losses small and understand that, okay, maybe this particular pattern or setup doesn't work best here. Maybe we need to draw our trend lines. Okay, maybe we need to be playing this off a higher low. So if this pulls back, let me maybe trade this differently. Let me slam it and risk this level, right? Let me play this on a bigger time, a bigger higher low pattern setup right here. Oh no, the GG chain. Oh, it just fell off. Okay. Hey man, shout out to my boy Tommy over here. All right, we got the Goblin Gang chains. All right, big fan. Hold on. All right, shout out to my boy Tommy and Gary. Dude, much love, guys, man. I appreciate it. See if you guys can see it. A little blurry, but it's cool. But okay, so remember, like this thing is just it's a different beast. All right. So don't get frustrated with that, right? Is it active momentum? You got to trade these things different. Like understand this thing is putting in higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, right? This thing pulls back, but it doesn't even break this previous low, so it's another higher low. All right, you got to trade it differently. All right. There's a couple other names too, that don't work out, right? Don't get frustrated. It's all about the mindset, okay? So another thing I want to go over too is that when you, as a day trader, right, we're trading these names, not one ticker trades the same as the other. I've never seen it, I've never experienced it where it's like this trades exactly like this, It might trade similar to it, or you might have situations where as you're progressing in your trading career that they actually are going to show you signs of like I've seen this before. Wait a minute. All right, this tape is kind of acting like this one, but it's not going to trade the same. But I've been in a similar situation, so I might know how to react on it. Okay. All right. So, mindset, guys, right? I have another video on that, guys. I go over a mindset as a trader, right? This week it was actually I had my biggest loss, right? And it was only 22K. And I say that like it's only 22K. It was a big loss. All right, I lost 22.7 thousand, right? The next day, I made it back, right? Friday, I had an amazing day too, okay? AGYF guys, it was a 30K bagger, right? I know a lot of people are like, hey, Mikey, I need where's your executions? Where's this? Guys, I trade so heavy. Like, the mindset of that is a whole different beast. All right, if you're not someone who hasn't traded super heavy and knows how to handle that type of situation, I feel weird sometimes of just saying, guys, I hit like 50K on this trade. Well, how did you do it? Well, I had traded with like 150,000 shares. Okay, and not a lot of people do that, right? Not a financial advisor. I don't recommend doing that if you haven't done it. Okay, you want to progress yourself in your trading. Okay, if you're trading a certain way, all right, you're gonna have a couple of things that pop up. One, more risk, more reward, more risk, potential losses, right? Bigger losses. You're gonna have bigger losses. Two, it's an emotional thing that it's a mental and emotional thing to get over. Okay, because the more size you take, a play goes against you. You're big red. When you're big red, you get a little uncomfortable, right? It's like that gut, that gut feeling that you get, like heavy chest, gut feeling, like ooh, this is uncomfortable. Okay, the only way to get through that is to continue to be uncomfortable and break those barriers. Okay, that's how I learned to trade with heavy size. Because I know a lot of people, they're like, Mike, I can't believe you do this. Like, how do you trade, that's beast size? It took me a long time. I didn't just wake up one day and was like, hey, I'm going to trade big size. No, it was very uncomfortable. Like, palms sweaty. I'm sweating in my shirt type of uncomfortable at my setup. And then it eventually got easier and easier and easier. Focus, guys. You guys have to be laser focused. Okay. Sometimes I don't really like writing in Discord because, if I'm sitting there and I gotta look left real quick and all of a sudden I couldn't see something right here on the ladder or level 2, I have Guardian now. Thank you, Guardian. Shout out to Guardian, my boy Thiz too. If you guys want to check that out, Guardian, it's a great broker. The level 2 on that thing is phenomenal. Okay, so I have that up now on my right screen. I'm using that because I can see bigger orders on there, and it's colored and it's great. Okay, if you're not paying attention to that and you look left and you're like, hey, and all of a sudden something on there flashed up, right? Something drastic was like, hey, it's time to exit. Guys, anytime I'm in a trade, as soon as I enter that, I rapid fire, right? That's just the way I hit it. I hit it. You'll see me on the tape. Trust me, you're going to say buyer stepped up. It was Mikey, underdog, 100%. As soon as I do that, I have my hand right on the sell trigger. I used to have hotkeys in my mouse. I even bought a cool one. I really don't want to sit there. I've actually messed up more times than I can actually remember of hitting the right buttons. So I just finger on the sell button, right? Fingers on the sell button because I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for the market to tell me, hey, it's time to cut. Hey, it's time to lock in some gains. Hey, it's time to take it all off the table. Okay? Remember, yeah, we're in communities, it's nice, we trade with people. At the end of the day though, like just look left, look right. Like it's you, it's me. Like it's you versus you right here, right? Got to protect your own self, right? And I'm not saying like, buy a million shares and then scalp it at the second. I'm just saying that, you know, it's okay to cut your position. It's okay for the trade to go against you. It's okay for those things to happen. All right? Because there's going to be times, where you guys will see me get excited or my boys are like I'm screaming, getting up out of my chair. I'm like, "Let's go." I'm going crazy, right? I'm like Super Saiyan 3 all of a sudden. And, I had huge size in a play and it opened up and it halted. Or it put in a leg, pulled back, and then put in another leg. And then I'm like $1.40 from my average. And it's like, my P&L looks fake. It's going to happen. Keep beating on your craft, right? Keep learning how to trade, and risk management has to be number one. Okay? Remember, stop getting frustrated if you think this setup's not working. Zoom out and maybe say, yo, this is a horrible time to play this. Okay? The daily is garbage. All right? The 4-hour looks horrible. All these time frames look horrible. Why do you think that a bullish setup is going to work in a crappy situation? Ask yourself that next time. Okay? All right, guys. So, I didn't want to take up too much time. AGFY was amazing. It held great levels. It was a daily inside bar play. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I remember last week I played one. It didn't work. It took like a 6.7K loss, right? Still was green on the day, but I took a hit there. Didn't work. Tried it again. Different circumstances. The tape was different, right? Not one ticker is the same. That ticker, the tape, the level 2, it traded differently, Um, don't get caught up. I'm just gonna pull this one up, okay? Eventually this didn't work. It retested it. I'm on the 5, right? Okay. Retested over here, but right here. Okay. Don't get caught up in this and forget about everything else around it. Zoom out, look left. Does this, just look left, sorry. There might be a whole bunch of different factors where this might look great for 2 seconds right here, but in reality, it's not the best time to be playing this. So don't get frustrated. Keep working. Learn from all your failures, right? You don't lose until you quit. All right? That's a big one. You don't lose until you quit. All right? Learn to get better. We never lose. We either win or we learn. Okay? Much love, guys. All right, so I will catch you guys on Monday. See you guys later. Peace.